2020 finally has come to an end. Happy New Year, everyone watching this. It is the start of a new decade. 2021 just started. But with a new decade, it makes you want to reflect on a decade that just passed. 2010 to 2019. A lot of different games came out in each of those years. So many games on all different platforms that I figured, why not do a retrospective look on some of those games within those years? See which games stack up. What are the games of those years? Like a game of the year for 1 year, but like games of the decade. Games of the decade. I'll call that video that. Games of the decade. Let's look back on games of this past decade between 2010 to 2019. And I know I'm gonna get comments. I'm gonna get these comments. But SMT, you could have done this in December. You could have done this before 2021 started. You could have done this back in 2019. What gives? What happened? There's already so many people that did it already. I got 2 responses for that. The first one, I was a very busy boy with busy things he had to do throughout last season leading up to Christmas. Again, I have an update video coming. I want to make at least a few discussion videos before I make that update, so be on the lookout for that. But one hand, I was busy. On another hand, I literally don't care. I wanted to do this like all throughout December of 2020. I just didn't get the time to do it because I was so busy with what I was doing that I'll elaborate in the update video, that I figured, you know what, better late than never. It's still worth reminiscing and giving a retrospective on some, not really retrospective, but like just looking back on 2010 to 2019, seeing which games stacked up in each of those individual years. I don't care if it's late. I genuinely don't care. It's better I'm doing it now rather than not doing it at all. Especially when I'm going to be doing this. I'm probably going to do it for when this decade ends, maybe. That, and I'm going to do 2020 in its own video, so I'm still going to be doing GsOTY discussions as the years come and pass. So why not? It helps the channel either way too. That's another additional reason. So how this is going to be done, this is largely just my own opinions. Opinionated list, my own opinion. Putting that out there right now. I'm going to be listing games that I played. I'm not going to be listing games I haven't played. Like, there's a lot of games I haven't played, but let me preface this. There's a lot of games I should have played that I haven't played throughout this decade, now, and into the future. There's just a lot of games I should have played that I haven't. My backlog, that's going to be another video I should do. Like, my backlog, ridiculously big. It's so big, there's so many games I haven't played. You're going to be seeing a constant theme like, oh, he's a Mario fan and a Sonic fan. It's like, oh, here's a Mario, here's a Pokemon, and then another Mario. Like, you'll see like some branching off, some games played on other systems, or like some indie games here and there. But like, you'll see a general theme of what games I center around throughout the years that you're going to get a grasp on. Damn, he really needs to play a lot more games than he does, which is completely true. And yeah, games that don't make it on the list, I am going to give a shout out to games that I did play that aren't my game of the year for that year. So you're still going to get a lot of games here of just not every single game in that year. I have my phone here with a list of games listed as GsOTY and shout outs for each individual year just to make things easier to go through. Alright, no more filler. 2010 to 2019. Let's go. Man, I remember 2010 like it was yesterday, primarily for one specific game. Okay, so first, I'm probably going to do shouts out first before I get to the actual game of the year. There's not a lot for this one. Shouts out to Pokemon Black and White, because that came out in 2010. That's like easily one of the best Pokemon games, hands down, one of the best generations. Really good story. I really liked a lot of the Pokemon designs. Gameplay obviously was still good. I like the introduction of triple battles and rotation battles. Black and White, genuinely one of the best Pokemon games. But as far as games I would give GsOTY to, it would have to be Super Mario Galaxy 2. Like, oh my god. Galaxy 2, man. Galaxy 1. That game, easily, like, one of the best Mario games. Like, peak Mario, it's definitely up there. And Galaxy 2, it's just basically more of that stuff. Galaxy 1 excelled in atmosphere and adding an extra narrative even when it wasn't necessary. Even when you take out Rosalina, you still had a giant, like, atmospheric, like, pressure and sense that, like, oh man, the universe is literally doomed if we don't stop Bowser. And then they just had Rosalina there too as a bonus, which is like, yeah, that's Rosalina. Her backstory's like sad as hell, and like her entire character is like really enticing even for a Mario character. Like, Galaxy 1 obviously is good for a lot of reasons, not even just the story stuff, the gameplay too. Galaxy 2 didn't have a lot of narrative stuff compared to Galaxy 1, But in my opinion, I think it more than made up for it just from a gameplay perspective. Because Galaxy 2, it had like Yoshi, it had like power-ups for Yoshi, it had brand new power-ups like the Cloud Flower, the Rock Mushroom. Cloud Flower was really freaking sick. The levels had much more of a cohesive structure. Galaxy had a more inherent linear structure, and Galaxy 2 basically embraced it. I think it works well for the game it is. There's more galaxies to go to. There's like 1 to 2 power stars per galaxy, so you have more levels, more interesting ideas thrown in there compared to the first game. It's literally just more of Galaxy 1, but essentially more refined, more to play. It's largely from a gameplay perspective, I think Galaxy 2 stands just with Galaxy 1, and the hype I felt for Galaxy 2 going up to its release, that was visceral. That was like Smash levels of hype, how visceral that hype was. Galaxy 2, oh man, that's such a good Mario game. It's a really good Mario game. 2011, there was a lot of games that came out in 2011. Alright, so shouts out, there's gonna be a few. Shouting out Super Mario 3D Land, good game, solid Mario game, probably the weakest 3D Mario entry if I'm gonna be honest. Still a really good game. Mario Kart 7, good Mario Kart, very standard though, really standard Mario Kart. I'm saying this like it's a bad game, it's a good game. They're both good games. Sonic Generations, that's one of my favorite 3D Sonic games. Oh man, that's technically the best Sonic game we got in the past decade. What the heck? Oh my god. It's at least the best modern game since... Oh man. Generations is good though. Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. I played Uncharted. I have played the Uncharted trilogy. I haven't played 4, but I did play Uncharted. Uncharted 3, really good game. Prefer the first 2. It's a little bit slow in some areas, but Uncharted 3, really good one. Game of the Year for 2011, I'm personally giving to. I'm giving it to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This, I don't feel like is a cheat for 2 reasons. Number 1, I never played a Zelda. Up until 2016, I have never played a single Zelda game. That's 95% true. The 5% that I'm lying with, I have played Phantom Hourglass for the DS, but I genuinely do not remember a damn thing about that game. I think it's supposed to be similar to Wind Waker, but like top down. I know you go through the sea and like Tetra's in there, so like it has the Wind Waker style to it. That's the most I remember. I only played like an hour of that game. I don't remember anything from Phantom Hourglass. So believe me when I say I'm still trying to like get into Zelda. I'm still like a beginner to all this. And Ocarina of Time, my best friend treated me to in 2016 for one of my birthdays. He's like, oh my god, how do you call yourself a Nintendo fan yet you don't even play Zelda? He didn't actually say that, but like, I played very little Nintendo franchises back in the day. Gave me Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, and I always heard that game was like a standout Zelda game, one of the best ones, one of the best games of all time, like objectively in a structural sense, narrative sense, whatever have you, just like one of the best games out there. And once I finished it, I'm like, damn, now I see why everyone's like, that's like one of the best games of all time. Ocarina of Time, that was a really freaking good game. And I think the 3DS remake was really good too. Like, the graphical upgrade it got from the N64 was really pretty. Even for 3DS, it was genuinely really pretty. One of the things that always made me worry about Zelda was like the UI and like the item storage and all that stuff. That always like intimidated me from someone who never started Zelda, but I thought the 3DS version handled it really well. It's not really going to bother me that much in the long term for other Zeldas, but like that was like one of the first fears I got. The 3DS remake I think handled it really nicely. Like the level design was still there, the exploration was still good, the story itself was also still really good. Like the characters, the writing, the music, the mechanics too. Like it's the same game as the original, but like it was a whole remake made from the ground up. That was the second reason I was gonna stay. It's a whole remake made from the ground up. GsOTY I think did a really good job on it. So there's that. I never played a Zelda. They have the remake that came out in 2011. I didn't play it until 5 years after the fact, but still I think that technically counts because it came out in 2011. Either way, Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, really good game. I can totally see why people hype the hell out of this game before Breath of the Wild. Now it's Breath of the Wild. But like Ocarina of Time, that's a really good one. That was a really good one. 2012, very similar to, not very similar. It's similar in the number of games I'm shouting out in the Game of the Year. Shouts out to new... I can't believe I'm saying this. Shouts out to New Super Mario Bros. 2 and U. It's New Super Mario Bros. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Being like, damn, you really should play more games and be shouting out freaking New Super Mario Bros. I mean, to be fair, to my credit, right? New Soup 2 and U, they're still good games. They're still good. They're still fun. Still 2D Mario. But, like, yeah, it's still New Super Mario Brothers. That's the caveat. That is the caveat to it. Not gonna expect these. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I remember playing multiplayer for that game. I thought it was fun. Didn't like it later on. I did not like zombies in that game, or at least I did not like Transit. Transit was like the killer for zombies for me until I got into the later Call of Duties of that year. Not the year, the decade. And I remember having fun with Call of Duty. I remember messing around with the emblem maker more than the actual multiplayer. Pokemon Black 2, White 2, still Gen 5, really good Pokemon games, essentially very similar to Black and White 1. Had a lot more content, still interesting, good stories. It's mainly the content for that one. That game had a shit ton of content for a Pokemon game. DS era was the peak, that's all I'm going to say. And the last game I'm going to shout out for 2012, Skullgirls. Insanely fun fighting game. Now it's on Switch. It's on like a lot of platforms between last gen and this gen. Skullgirls, really fun fighting game. It's an indie fighting game, 2D hand-drawn, really fun, really balanced, insanely cool. It's just a really fun fighting game. My best friend showed it to me, sunk a lot of time into that, and then I sunk some time into it as well. Love that game. Cerebella's my main. Shouts out to Cerebella mains. And that's all the games I'm shouting out for that year. Though the one game, I'm giving it to my favorite 3DS game, Kid Icarus Uprising. Holy shit. I'm making a whole video for this game at some point in the future. Kid Icarus Uprising, literally the best 3DS game, and like one of the best revivals I've ever seen in a game. Like, Sakurai did magic, as always, as it always does with Kirby and especially Smash Brothers. That man did magic with Kid Icarus. The man essentially rebooted and reimagined the entire franchise from like a Metroidvania style 2D platformer into a half hybrid of on-rail shooting and third-person shooting. Like, the gameplay itself, I think it's good, especially the on-the-rails portion where you're flying, but like the writing, the characters, oh my god, the game oozes with charm. It oozes with charm. It's so fun. It's such a good game. Holy shit. I'm making a video for that, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. Graphics really good, gameplay kind of fun, writing top tier, characters top tier, story kind of top tier too. Like the multiplayer too, the modes and the mechanics and the arms. Nah, I take that back. The gameplay was good. Gameplay was actually good. I'm not even going to say it was kind of good. It was actually like good all around. Oh my god. Oh, Kid Icarus Uprising. Love Palutena and Pit. Oh my god, there's so many characters in that too. Nah. I'll stop right. Uprising. Kid Icarus Uprising. You still got the 3DS. I don't care if it's dead. If you haven't played it, please, for the love of God, play it. Such a fun game. Such a charming game. It's so good. It is such a good game. 2013. Very similar to the number of games I'm shouting out in the Game of the Year. Again, I need to play more games when you hear the Game of the Year for this one. Shouts out to Injustice Gods Among Us. Fighting game. DC comic book heroes. Friend showed it to me. I thought it was really fun. It was really nice. Pokemon X and Y. It's a Pokemon game. I thought it was fun. Probably my least favorite generation so far. I've played every gen except Gen 8, so I can't say for certain how much I'm going to enjoy that. But X and Y currently, it's good. It's fine. I prefer the anime. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Good Mario and Luigi. Kind of slow in some areas. Obviously reuses a lot of stuff from Bowser's Inside Story. Thought it was still a really good game. Had a lot of fun with it. Good story. And Tasma, good villain. Brought back some characters. Combat's obviously really good. I like what they did with the whole dream world dynamic, putting the characters in like Luigi's dreamscape. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, good Mario and Luigi. Not much else to say. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Played the first Mansion of that game, and then I lost my copy. I don't know where my copy is, and I kind of hate myself for that. I remember it was fun, but damn, I wish I went back and finished it. And GTA 5. I did play some of GTA 5. I didn't play a whole lot of online. The campaign for it was really good from what I remember. I didn't finish it, but of course it's GTA, and it got re-released on like 3 different platform generations actually. Holy shit. But this is probably one of the more lukewarm years, I'd say, as far as like what games I'm going to consider Game of the Year. Even though there's more games on here than some others. But my Game of the Year... I mean, essentially down to... It's not even the kind of Mario game I prefer, but like you could tell... Again, you could tell, damn, you really should be playing more games. Game of the Year, 2013, Super Mario 3D World. Not even the kind of preferred 3D Mario, and I'm just like, yo, It's basically my game of the year. It's still a really good game. Really good game. Really good level design. You can play between like 5 different characters. A lot of the mechanics and ideas they have for that game. It's a 2D Mario game in a 3D space. I always like to call it that. I like to shit on it a lot, but like even still, it's a really fantastic game. As much as I like to shit on it. The level design's really good. Probably some of the best between both 2D and 3D Mario. I might save some stuff and thoughts when I replay the game when it comes out next month in February. But either way, honestly though, 3D World, it's a really good platformer. Really fun Mario game. 2014, not... Well, I mean, there was plenty of good stuff that came out in that year, but, yeah, I didn't play a whole lot in 2014. I'm only shouting out one game, and that's Mario Kart 8. That's, like, one of the best Mario Karts, by the way. Oh, my god. I don't know about the Wii U version, because the battle mode in that one sucked. So I'm kind of grouping 8 Deluxe in this as well. But Mario Kart 8, when you add in 8 Deluxe, the roster's definitely better. When you discount the Koopalings, the roster's definitely a lot more solid than people give it credit for, even with the DLC. Like, the roster was fine. The tracks were really well designed, really strong, really cool, especially the DLC. Like, and Battle Mode in 8 Deluxe was actually, like, good. Compared to 8. Like, at least compared to 8, it was good. But, beyond that, though, this one's kind of an obvious one. Game of the Year, 2014. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. You know I'm a whore for Smash Bros. You know it. I kind of started YouTube with, like... Well, I didn't start YouTube, but I started making more content on YouTube with Smash content, with 3DS and Wii U. Smash 3DS and Wii U still holds a special place in my heart. The 3DS version, Smash Run, was really fun. I prefer 3DS's version of Classic Mode more than the Wii U's. Trophy Rush between both was still really good. The roster for both games, it seems small now given Ultimate, but it was still a really good roster for the time. Duck Hunt, Rosalina, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Cloud, Ryu, Palutena, Bowser Jr., like, they had a lot of banger-ass newcomers in that game. I thought the newcomers in that game was really freaking strong. Even when you took out the DLC, like, Palu, Rosalina, and Bowser Jr., and Pac-Man were enough to sell me. Yo, Pac-Man was sick in Smash 4, actually. But Smash 4, it's hard to go back to it because of Ultimate, again. Like, gameplay-wise, it's basically a better version of Smash 4. And single-player content, as far as that goes, outside the 3DS version, Wii U version, Smash 4 was ass. It was kind of ass. Both games butchered the Target Mode too, Target Blast. It was like a Diet Angry Birds, kind of. I didn't like it. It wasn't that fun. If at all. Trophy Rush, I think, was only good on Wii U. No, it was good on both, but, like, it was the only good Wii U mode that the Wii U version had. So, like, as far as gameplay goes, it was still good, even if it is unbalanced with Bayonetta. At least it wasn't Brawl bad. Like, Smash for Wii U, it holds a special place in my heart. I like it a lot. So, shout out to that one. 2015, though. That was an interesting year. At least for Nintendo fans, that was an interesting year. Because shouts out to Splatoon. Because that was a new IP at the time. I did play a little bit. I played like... Oh my god, I don't even remember how much. I don't even know if it was like a half hour or hour. I don't even remember. It wasn't a lot, but I did play some. So I did play a little bit. I did play some of it, so technically it counts as a shout out. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. That one I played later on in that decade. My best friends showed me more zombies and they brought back some classic maps. But especially because I played like modified custom zombies maps. Custom zombies maps in the Black Ops games, those slap so much harder than you'd expect. Oh my god. Custom maps and zombies, that's like where the game's really at. Some of the maps in base games are already really good as is, but the custom maps, oh my god, that's like on a whole other level of like just fun, creativity, like, oh, custom maps in Black Ops, it's really fun. Black Ops 3 was also, I definitely prefer Black Ops 3 more than 2, I feel like. Yokai Watch. I played Yokai Watch. I have played Yokai Watch on the 3DS. It came out in 2013 in Japan, but in other places it came out, like America and whatnot. It came out in 2015. So I'm grouping this one with 2015 only because it came out in the US over here for that. Yokai Watch, you can see the similarities with Pokemon, but like, I think it's enough to stand out on its own. It got itself a trilogy and a fourth game in Japan, as well as the first game getting a remaster on Switch. Like, I thought Yokai Watch was really fun and really cute. It's based on, like, Japanese folklore, yokai, like, the spirits and ghosts of, like, the culture within Japan. I thought it was really fun, really cute. I think the gameplay's good. The world it sets in the yokai, some of the designs. I think it's a fun game. I like it. Even if you think it's a Pokemon ripoff, I still think it's worth giving a shot. Because I think it's a fun game all around. The similarities are there, but it stands out on its own in my opinion. And the last game I'm shouting out, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam. Weakest Mario & Luigi game. I'm easily not going to disagree on that, but I do feel like it's underrated to a degree. Even though its potential didn't quite live up to the crossover it was trying to be, even though the story and characters wasn't that good, it was still a fun game. The writing was still good. The characters they did use, I think, was still really good. The gameplay is some of the best in the entire series, I feel like. So, it gets a shout out in my book. I still enjoyed the game a good amount. But I'm giving 2015 to Mario Maker, Super Mario Maker. Like, the concept of a Mario creator, like, it seemed like a no-brainer beforehand, but then Nintendo went with it in 2015 with the Wii U, and it was hands down one of the best games on the Wii U, and especially one of the best games that utilized the gamepad, because you could do like a lot of different creations with the options the game gave you with level creators, themes, mechanics, obstacles, enemies, what have you, between Mario 1, 3, World, and New Soup U. Like, Mario Maker boasted so much creativity and was one of the biggest games on the Wii U. It was really fun too. Some bullshit levels, don't get me wrong, but it was really fun. That and the amiibo costumes. Shouts out to the amiibo costumes, bro. I miss those with a burning passion. Oh, those were so good. Mario Maker was a really fun level creator, though. You got a 2D Mario fix just for Mario Maker because you had like 4-in-1 and like an infinite amount of levels. Now, I think they're ending this service in like a couple days. You can't share your custom levels anymore in like a week and a half or so. Somewhere around there from the time this uploads. So that's unfortunate. But either way, Mario Maker opened the door for so many different possibilities for 2D Mario and like 2D Mario levels specifically. It was a really fun time. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely liked it. 2016, this one was harder. Because like, there were good games that came out. There were some games that came out, Uncharted 4, Overwatch, Final Fantasy 15, Doom, Stardew Valley, etc. But like, for me, there was barely anything I played in 2016. So that one was tough. But then I looked up. This one's a little bit of a meme. Shouts out to Pokemon Go. Remember when that came out in 2016? Okay, actually, no, I kind of take that back. It's kind of a meme pick, but like, to my credit, Pokemon Go in 2016 that's something you can never recreate now. You still have a lot of people playing it. The player base is bigger now than it was back in 2016, but like, Pokemon Go was a phenomenon when that came out in 2016. Practically everyone and their mother was a Pokemon fan when that came out, and that was kind of fun. There was some people dumb, but it was like a really good social experiment. That, and like, I still play that game a lot, even today. I still play that game a lot 4 years later, so shouts out to Pokemon Go. But then I found out, oh yeah, they released a Pokemon game that year, thank God, and I actually liked it. Game of the Year, 2016, Pokemon Sun and Moon. People tend to say Gen 7's not that good. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon's usually a part of that conversation. I did not play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, so I can't say anything regarding that, but Sun and Moon, in my opinion, I thought it was really good. That was surprisingly a stronger Pokemon game than I thought it was going to be. Better than X and Y. The pacing definitely fumbles. Pacing in that game's definitely slow. Very, very hand-holdy. I could see why people don't necessarily like it that much. It is very hand-holdy. But to me, at least, I thought it's similar with Black and White. The story and characters in that game, they were really good. I thought they were really good. A lot of the designs in that generation, a lot of them slapped. A lot of them were really good. I like the different like take. It's like, oh, it's based on Hawaii, the islands you're going on, and like instead of gyms, it's trials. I thought it was a really good change of pace. I thought they did good with that sort of thing. Sun and Moon was really fun. I had a lot more fun with it than I was expecting it to. Like, it's up there as one of my favorite generations. I don't know if I put it in top 3 per se, but it's still a really good generation. I don't think a lot of people talk about enough, because it also did quality of life stuff too, changing like HMs. Now it's like ride Pokemon. Sun and Moon did some smaller stuff that I thought was really good. I thought it was also just a really good generation, introducing nice Pokemon, good story, good characters, good writing, a nice change of pace for the mechanics and the structure it had. Sun and Moon was good. I don't know about y'all, I thought Sun and Moon was really good. So I'm putting it as my game of the year for 2016. 2017 though, there was a lot of shit that came out in 2017. So, actually, before I start with shoutouts even, 2017, I'm revisiting this year at some point in the future when I actually play some of the bigger games that came out in this year, because like, again, there was a lot of shit, even beyond Nintendo fans specifically, even beyond the Switch, there was a lot of stuff that came out in 2017. A lot of good stuff too. So like, as far as shoutouts go, right? Injustice 2, that I actually played, sequel to Injustice Gods Among Us, same like comic book characters from the DC comics, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, yada yada yada. Really good, really fun. Kind of prefer the first one a little bit more, but that just could be because I sunk more time into the first one than the second one. Cuphead, played a little bit of that. It was a really fun game. And, well, I didn't finish it. I didn't get that far. I think I fought like 1 or 2 bosses actually. But either way, that was another case of, yeah, I'm saving this one for the channel. Sonic Mania, finished that one. Strongest 2D game, one of the best Sonic games hands down. I'm gonna make a re-review of that one because I only did like a 2.5 minute review because I was busy when I made that review. So I'm actually gonna give that game a proper review. That said though, even like 3 years later, Sonic Mania, strongest 2D game, really fun, really replayable. I still go back to that game even now. Crash Insane Trilogy, played the first one of the 3. I think I beat the first world actually. Or, I did play a couple levels. I don't know if there was worlds in that game. But that was another case of, yeah, I'm saving that one for the channel. The game was really hard. I thought it was really fun, though. It was hard and fun. I like it. I like games like that when they're hard but fun at the same time. Though Crash can definitely be bullshit the more levels, like the further you go along in that game. ARMS, I still think this game is underrated now. It was fun. It's still a fun game. Like, there's a lot of different combinations you could do. Some of the characters have their own mechanics. It boomed before Splatoon 2 came out, I'll say that much. People thought it was going to be a good game, and it would have been big if Nintendo supported the esports scene a lot better than how they did. I'm gonna, that's a whole other video if it's other... honestly, this video is kind of supporting a lot of other a lot of other video ideas and series I have in mind for the channel, low-key. But, like, I think ARMS is underrated. People like to shit on it now, ever since Min Min became a character, even though everyone and their mom was predicting an ARMS character for Smash. ARMS, I think, has potential for its gameplay, though its esports scene's definitely not going to live up to the potential it had, because Nintendo fumbled the ball with that one really hard. But the game is fun, it has depth, the characters are really cool, character designs especially were really strong. I think it's a fun game, especially when the DLC was added much later on. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Okay, that's the biggest shout out for this year. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle for me. Shockingly really good game. You wouldn't think Mario and the Rabbids would produce a good game, because the Rabbids, there's kind of this cringe stigma with the Rabbids. Rabbids games are also hit or miss. Rabbids Go Home, that was a really good game. Wasn't a fan of Travel Through Time. There's other Rabbids games too. People also kind of associate the Rabbids with like the death of Rayman. Not really the death, but like you see a lot more Rabbids games compared to Rayman because of them. But when they pitched the idea of a Mario's crossover game, and then this dropped, we were just like, oh no, this is probably going to be bad. But no, it actually was really freaking good. Design-wise, the gameplay, surprisingly really good. Surprisingly hard. Surprisingly hard. Like, it's a really good strategy game. Tactical RPG. It's like XCOM. There's a lot of strategy in there. There's a bunch of missions in there. You have like 8 different characters to choose from. So like, there's a lot of different ways you could go about different battles. Like, it's a really good RPG. Story-wise, it's okay. I think it does a decent enough job. The writing, though, it's actually really good. The game's a lot more comedic and funny. I found myself laughing more often than I thought I would at a Rabbids game. Well, it's a Mario and Rabbids crossover, but what they did with the Rabbids, what they did with the Mario characters, especially some of the combinations in the later game, they were actually really smart, really fun, really good. And the DLC, I didn't play it yet, but I heard a lot of good stuff about the DLC. Like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, that's a game worth picking up. Whether you're a fan of RPGs, Rabbids, Mario, whatever. It's a genuinely strong tactical RPG that has a lot of love and passion put into it. That was a really good game in 2017. But the reason I'm saying I want to revisit this year is because there's still a lot of good shit. Nier Automata, shouts out to that. Shouts out to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Shouts out to Persona 5. Like, there's still a lot of big-ass games I want to play for the channel that I should play and, like, actually finish. I played Breath of the Wild. I at least played Breath of the Wild, so that at least gets a proper shout-out. Like, that's still a fun open-world game. Like, I played, like, 20 hours of it. I barely got that far in the story. And we all know 20 hours is, like, a fraction of how big Breath of the Wild truly is. So that's why I'm not really comfortable with putting it up any higher than just a shout-out. Because I feel like I didn't give that game enough time and dedication. Because, like, what I did play, I still really enjoyed, I still loved. And then more games just came out towards the end of spring. And then Persona 5, I have it sitting on my cable box behind me. So that's only getting a shout-out. I played, like, the first 2 minutes of the game. So I'm like, yep, saving that one for the channel. You'd be amazed at how many games I'm like, yep, saving that one for the channel. Saving that game for the channel, saving that for an LP, saving that for a review. Yeah, I do that way too much. Persona 5 and Zelda specifically are what makes me want to revisit this year, because I haven't gotten to those games, so I'm only giving those games shout-outs. But the one game I did play this year, you knew this was coming. Super Mario Odyssey, Game of the Year 2017. I call Galaxy and Galaxy 2 peak Mario. I still believe Odyssey's not far off from that either. I have expressed some concerns, well, not concerns, some like negatives of that game, like moon collecting can get tedious in the post game. It's really easy, but like the level design in that game, Odyssey, some of the best in like all of Mario, at least Sandbox Mario. Granted, there's only 2 games, but still, how Mario controls, the mechanics. Definitely like the best feeling controls Mario's ever been. Like just rolling around, jumping. They nerfed some moves, but like control and just moving Mario around in Mario Odyssey, it's just so fun. Oh my god, it's like ecstasy in a way. Grouped out with the level design, it's just really fun to control Mario. The worlds in that game, they were really creative, really fun. The mechanics for the captures, the T-Rex, even though it controlled like ass, you gotta admit it was still pretty cool. Some of the other ideas, like the capture kind of working as this like pseudo like power-up replacement, I think it works really well. There's some really good ideas they threw in there too, between old enemies and new enemies, as well as like later on against bosses and like the final boss as well. The world designs as well, New Donk City, Bowser's Kingdom, the Luncheon Kingdom, Seaside Kingdom, like there's a lot of good kingdoms in that game. I'm just like, damn, this is such a really good world. Adding all those new NPCs and characters, giving those worlds like breathable life, bringing back Pauline, the soundtrack for the game as well. Like, other than Galaxy and Galaxy 2, I still fully believe Odyssey is like peak 3D Mario, or like peak Mario in general. It was just a really fun game they sunk a lot of ideas into. They sunk a lot of time, ideas, love, and passion into that I'm like, yeah, this is still a really fun game. There's some people who don't like it nearly as much. I can totally see why. I still really thoroughly enjoy the game. I replayed it a bunch. I replayed that game a bunch. People say the game's the replayability for Odyssey is not that good, which I do agree. I do kind of agree. Even with that, I replayed that game like 100%, at least 5 times. Like, Odyssey, oh my god, Odyssey was just so much fun. It was just, like, I still remember the visceral, like, first playthrough I have of that game. It was still really fun. I mean, you could say that about a lot of games. But like, the New Donk Festival, New Donk City as a whole, Pauline again, Seaside Kingdom, frickin' the Bound Bowl Grand Prix was really fun. The post-game Kingdom, I'm not spoiling. The game's 3 years old, I know, but like, I like to consider those who watch this that don't play the game. Like, the post-game Kingdom you get, the last level of the game, the final boss in that entire sequence, the final kingdom of the main campaign. The last 3 kingdoms, honestly, not even just the last one, the last 3 kingdoms you go to. Not even counting the Luncheon Kingdom, like, I might do a retrospective review of Odyssey later down the line, but Mario Odyssey, oh my god. I still love the hell out of that game. I don't know where people are coming from, but like, I still think that game is really strong and really good. So it still gets to the Game of the Year for 2017 in my book. That said though, that could change. I'm saying there is a possibility that could easily change. If I play Breath of the Wild down the line in Persona 5, I definitely will. But that's why I want to revisit 2017, because this could easily very well change. 2017 might get its own video all over again, but Odyssey, for now at least, Odyssey is still a really strong-ass game. My Game of the Year for 2017, easy. And now we have 2018. Again, a lot of good games that came out in that year. Celeste, the Spider-Man, Among Us, even though it only reached popularity in 2020. Spyro the Reignited Trilogy, Red Dead Redemption 2, still a lot of good games. As far as games I played though in that year, the only games I'm going to give shoutouts to, not a lot. Super Mario Party, I thought it was a nice return to the form for classic Mario Party. Really fun game. I think it's still a really good game. Definitely could use better designed boards and just more boards, period. But other than that, the structure's still there, like the formula's still there. The mini games are good. The rhythm games especially, I don't know why that's in its own other mode. I wish that game got DLC, it could have used more boards again. The roster was really good. It's that tried and true Mario Party gameplay that a lot of us were craving after 9 and 10 that I'm glad they revisited. Mario Tennis Aces, that game is actually really fun. I hear the gameplay is like underwhelming. Not the gameplay, the story mode. The story mode was underwhelming. The gameplay itself though was really freaking good. The roster in Aces as well, extremely good. Game's literally Mario Tennis but a fighting game. Mario Tennis Aces, that's definitely a Mario Tennis game worth getting. because like the gameplay it has, the roster it has, it's insanely fun. I hear from people, I didn't get too far, but I hear from people that like it didn't have a lot of courts, which that wouldn't surprise me, but it does scare me a little bit. And the last game I'm shouting out that came out in 2018, Dragon Ball FighterZ, I have played some of it, and it's one of the few fighting games that has gone on to become a big esport within the past 2 years. It's still getting DLC. It's a really good, really fun, extremely visually faithful Dragon Ball game. Even if you're not into competitive fighting games, like, as a Dragon Ball fan at least, there's a lot of references and a lot of stuff they threw in there that Dragon Ball fans would definitely like and appreciate. Probably one of the best Dragon Ball games, hands down. Dragon Ball FighterZ was definitely a really fun time. I still have some friends who still play it. But just like 2014, come on, 2018, Game of the Year. Come, you knew it was coming. Come on. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. World of Light. Did not touch that. 2 years. 2 years after the fact, I did not touch World of Light. Have not, or Spirits Mode for that matter. Maybe like 1 or 2 Spirit Battles. But beyond that though, every character in Smash came back. We have like over 20 newcomers now, 23 by the end of Fighters Pass 2. A lot of fan favorites, Banjo and Kazooie, King K. Rool, Ridley, and like a lot of actually good, like decent first party picks between like Min Min, Isabelle, Incineroar, and like crazy ass amazing third parties, Simon and Richter Belmont, Joker from Persona 5, Terry from Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, Steve Minecraft, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Like, dude, Smash Ultimate, along with bringing back every single character that ever appeared in a Smash game, like Smash Ultimate, bro, like hundreds upon hundreds of music, over 100 stages, several modes they added via updates, stage builder, home run contest, thank god. Like Smash Ultimate, man, and there's so much more to it that I'm not even mentioning right now. Smash Ultimate, that's like a Smasher's like dream game, casually or competitively. I don't know about dream game casually, but like, you have the roster and the stages to back it up, along with a shit ton of items too. Smash Ultimate, it's still played by like millions of people even today. It's one of the biggest games on the Switch. Best-selling fighting game, one of the biggest Smash games, period. Like, Smash Ultimate. It's honestly really hard to go wrong with Smash Ultimate, unless you play online. Of course, Smash game. Obviously, everyone memes on how crappy Nintendo Switch Online has been with a lot of games. Smash especially has always been bad. It's a Smash game. It's just easily the best Smash game for like a lot of different reasons. I have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy World of Light as much as Subspace Emissary. I think that's fine though. That makes Brawl stand out on its own a lot more. But even with that, the characters, old and new, the stages, the music, the gameplay, the mechanics, some of the side modes, like, I love Smash Ultimate. I still play that game a lot. No shocker, right? This Nintendo guy still plays Smash Brothers a lot. But like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that no wonder that would get my 2018 Game of the Year. You find that really surprising at all? It's still really fun. 2019, there were less games that came out compared to the past 2 years, 2018, 2017, but like there was still a lot of good shit though. Devil May Cry 5, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Untitled Goose Game, Zelda Link's Awakening, just to name a few. Did not play a lot. Oh yeah, this is the last year. This is the last year I'm gonna list. 2020 is gonna get its own video. 2020 is getting its own video. We'll pretend it's still like the last week of 2020 when I make that. But 2020 is gonna get its own video when we get to that. Because I still want to talk about... I'm going to talk about the games I played in that year a little bit more in depth. So 2019 is going to be the last year I'm going to talk about. There wasn't a whole lot I played during 2019, or like games that came out in 2019 that I played later. So, shouting out Devil May Cry 5, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Untitled Goose Game, and Zelda Link's Awakening, just to name a few games that came out in that year. Like, a lot good games too. Not a lot compared to 2017 to 2018, but there were still plenty of good ones regardless, in my opinion. The only game I did play some of that I'm only giving a shout out to, I didn't play a lot of, Mario Maker 2. Similar to Mario Maker 1, they just added, like, they got rid of the amiibo costumes, granted, but it's basically more of Mario Maker 1, co-op multiplayer, online multiplayer. They added a whole 3D world, like, style to it with all of its own mechanics and, like, obstacles and platforms and whatnot, and they just added more extra unique, old and new, enemies, obstacles, mechanics, etc. with the other styles, New Soup U, Super Mario Bros. 3 and 1 and World. They added extra world themes and whatnot. It's basically more of Mario Maker 1. Basically better without the amiibo costumes. That's the one thing that's the one thing I wish that came back. There's probably some like licensing stuff they had to deal with, but like they did all that for Mario Maker 1 anyways. I guess, I don't know. I don't know how licensing works, I guess. But the one game that came out in 2019 that I played in 2020, Luigi's Mansion 3. I played the first hour of it, but like, I essentially know what to expect for the rest of the game. Definitely better than Dark Moon. I can totally see why people will kind of group this with the first game. Either consider it just barely worse or barely better. The amount of charm and expression in Luigi's Mansion 3, even when I played it a year later, like that, oh my god, there's so much charm and expression on like every single character. I'm glad they returned to the portrait ghosts for Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi himself, holy shit, he's just as lovable and goofy as he is, as always. They added Peach in that game, first appearance from Peach in Luigi's Mansion. Her, Mario as well. Like, even the Toads that pop up in the game, all of them are really cute, really expressive, really charming. The ghosts as well. King Boo even is also really expressive. Egad, like, oh, the amount of charm, the amount of cartoony charm in that game. That's the one thing you gotta give Next Level, even if you don't like Dark Moon, or for some reason 3, you gotta give them credit where it's due. The amount of charm they put into a lot of the characters in the past 2 Luigi's Mansion games, holy shit, it's like so much better than the first game. It's so cute. You just can't help but like love the characters in that game even more. The gameplay is basic. It feels like a mixture of both the first game and Dark Moon, which to me, I think it's okay as long as the structure's there, which it basically is the structure of the first game, because there's like, what, like 16 floors you gotta explore, and they all have their own distinct like design, which takes like roughly an hour or so to explore all of it, which it works for me. In my opinion, I think it works well. Can't wait to play more of it. But what I did play of the game, that was extremely fun. I thought the game was well designed and well structured. The charm is there. Definitely gave me callbacks to the first Luigi's Mansion. I can't wait to play more of it for the Let's Play in the future. Like, Luigi's Mansion 3. That. Also, one of the prettiest games on the Switch. Graphically, oh my god. I think it practically rivals Odyssey. Odyssey, in my opinion, is still like the best looking Mario game on the Switch. But like, Luigi's Mansion 3. Oh, that goes so close. That goes so close. But even beyond graphics, Luigi's Mansion 3, that's just such an endearing game. Even if you are a Mario fan, I don't know, I can't see how you wouldn't want to like pick it up. Other than like, I guess maybe you didn't like Dark Moon that much. That's the only other reason I can think of. Luigi's Mansion 3, that's a really strong game. But that'll be it for this video. I'm gonna do 2020 in its own video once again. That's getting its own video after this one, but once again, I need to play a lot more games than just all these Mario and Pokemon games, which I do play some, but I need to expand that like horizon of games within my backlog. The backlog's just growing. It just keeps growing. There's a lot of games on there I didn't even mention that I want to play. But beyond that though, there you have it. Games of the decade. Between 2010 and 2019 at least, last decade, the games of that last decade. Better late than never. Expect the 2020 video to come really soon. It's going to be a lot shorter than this one, believe me. And thank you guys for watching. Any of these you agree with? I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of people who had different games of the year for a lot of these years. Let me know what you thought down below. Did you like it? Did you think that makes sense? A lot of my stuff. Trust me when I say there's going to be a lot of games that you're going to list in the comments and I'll be like, yeah, that's probably on my list. That's probably a game I should have played, that I will play in the future. That's definitely probably going to replace some of these games of the year in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it at least got some chuckles out of you, or at least it entertained you to a little bit. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, be sure to check out more for 2020 and other content and discussions based around Nintendo games, Mario, Sonic, Smash, Pokemon, what have you, and other videos of the like that'll definitely, hopefully, but definitely expand more than beyond just your typical norm. Not even just for Nintendo, but other like third-party stuff, Final Fantasy, Persona, and more in the future. Again, I'll elaborate in the video. Other than that, hope you guys have a happy new year. Hope you have a pleasant 2021, a better year. Hopefully it'll be a better year than 2020 for most of you guys. Stay safe, wear a mask, stay super.